A half-mile paved oval opened in 1953. Five Flags Speedway takes its name from its proximity to Pensacola, Florida, known as the City of Five Flags, in reference to the five governments that have ruled the city: Spain, France, Great Britain, the Confederate States of America, and the United States of America. Five Flags is one of the fastest short tracks in America thanks to its steep 15-degree banking and wide turns that give the track a nearly circular configuration. Although the track hosted NASCAR Grand National Series action in its early days, since 1968, Five Flags has been known as the site of the annual Snowball Derby. Held each December, the Snowball Derby is considered the year's premier super late model event. Past Snowball Derby winners have included Donnie Allison, Darrell Waltrip, Rich Bickle, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, Chase Elliott, most recently Derek Thorne. Five Flags regular season features super late models, pro late models, super stock, sportsmen, bombers, every other Friday night from March through October. But tonight, on a Wednesday, it's the Downrange Transport Premier Series Beach Ball Derby, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Five Flags Speedway for tonight's Downrange Transport Premier Series Beach Ball Derby. No snow here tonight. Getting ready for essentially the Xfinity Series action here. The Downrange Transport Premier Series running the Xfinity car. Practice wrapping up here. Just about 3 minutes, maybe a little bit less remaining in the session. Let's take a look at the details for tonight. 78-degree ambient temperature, 54% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 8-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temperature about 82, nice and cool. Should see some quick lap times, some good racing here tonight. 200 laps, the race distance for these guys this evening. Taking a look at the top times as of now. Sam Fontaine, the fastest, the only driver below 17 seconds, a 16:99. Cutting it awfully close, but it counts. Diego Sainz, second quick. The 11 of Justin Bondurant, then Brandon Alphin. Ben Pierce, your top five. Very tight times here. We're looking at a 10th in the top nine, a 10th plus 100th, back to 12th. Two drivers at the identical lap times of 17.11, Sean Petchen, and then the 33 of Alex Bryson. Minute and a half remain in the session. We will get into a 5-minute session for qualifying. 2 laps to set the field in the pole position for tonight's Beach Ball Derby. Again, with just about a minute to go. Special thanks to this league putting out the artwork for tonight's event, the Beach Ball Derby here at Five Flags Speedway, home of the Snowball Derby. First day of summer, though, we're talking beach balls, not the snowballs. Corey D. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm not even going to repeat the comment on air, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Practice comes to an end. Fontaine's going to lead the session to its completion. So who will be first to roll out of pit lane and start their lap in qualifying? We'll try to catch as many drivers as we can, but a 5-minute session. Looks like J.W. Miller is going to be first to roll. The number 6 Northern Tool Machine. Miller, 17.485 his first lap. Diego Sainz goes top of the board just after. 17.098 for the number 44. Sporting some new colors here tonight. Oh, real loose out of 4. So much so it's going to kill that second lap. 17.098, fastest on the board so far, but not for long. Sam Fontaine goes P1 to 17.093. Beats him by 5/1000ths of a second. Oh, same thing for Fontaine, though. Second lap. Has to lock her down out of 4. Gets a piece of the inside wall. Nothing to be too concerned with. It's just the end of the qualifying session. Tristan Lattiser taking the green flag. Some connection issues there briefly for Tristan. Hopefully gets those sorted out. We'll switch over to Jason Dalton here in the 2. First lap of 17.29, puts himself P7 so far. .083, Dalton goes top of the board, P1. Josh Gagnon, the number 79, PRG gear entry. Gagnon out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't know what happened here with Josh. Looks like he may not have gotten one clean lap in. Let's see what happens here as he crosses the stripe. Doesn't register. Does not. Looks like Gagnon's going to start near the back. Sean Petchin is 17.27. Just about everybody's gotten their time in that has made the attempt. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 drivers that have opted not to take a time thus far. Again, 2 minutes remain in the session, maybe waiting for slightly cooler track temps. Steve Miles on the racetrack. Currently Dalton the fastest. Miles runs a 17.23 on his first lap. Didn't seem to be really in it. Let's see if lap 2's any faster. A lot of these guys trying to get that power down out of 4, having some struggles. Ran a 26. Second lap, Miles running P7 here in qualifying. Luke Knupp rolls out of pit lane, number 15, Spicy Schemes Machine. Lap 1 negated. Lap 2, fourth quick for Knupp, a 17.109. Not too shabby. 5 seconds left in the session. Looks like everyone's taking the time that's going to. That's going to wrap up our quali session, and it's going to give the pole position to the 2 of Jason Dalton. With that, let's take a look at our starting grid for tonight's Beach Ball Derby from Five Flags Speedway. On the pole position in the number 2. The lap time is 17.083 seconds. It's the 2 of Jason Dalton. Outside front row, it's the 77 of Sam Fontaine, missing that pole position by 9/1000ths of a second. Row number 2, Diego Sainz, the number 44. He'll start third. Luke Nutt with Factory Sim Sport rolls P15. Fourth in the number 15. Matt Telder rolls from the 5th spot in the number 1. Alex Bryson will start 6th. Brian Sutphin, the number 26, will start in the 7th spot. Steve Miles rolls position number 8. Starting 9th, Cameron Ingram in the 5 with Gunslinger Racing. Starting 10th, Chris Evans in the 00. Number 69 is Sean Petchin, starts in the 11th spot. Tristan Lattiser in the 23, he'll start 12th. Starting 13th, it's Andrew Miller in the 74. Luke Simonson will roll from 14th. Asher Gwinsey, 15th starter. 16th goes to J.W. Miller. 17th, Cedric Ingram. In the 19, Jason Clark will start 18th. Chris Dean will roll from the 19th spot with Justin Bondurant starting 20th. Ben Pierce, 21st. Blaine Sparling, 22nd. Jeremy Freer, 23rd. The 63 of Alex Cummings will start from the 24th position. Jacob Drift in the 14 starts 25th. 26 goes to Brandon Alphin in the 21. Josh Gagnon, 27th. Robert Lukens, 28th. And last but not least, 61 of Gary Wright will roll from P29. It's your starting grid here from Five Flags Speedway for tonight's Beach Ball Derby. Luke Knapp looks to be starting from pit lane. I think that's the situation here. Field starting to roll, though. Healthy field of race cars here at Five Flags. Hopefully, can keep everybody minding their P's and Q's all night long. Field on their second pace lap here. Should be going to the green flag this time by half a lap away. Pace car pulls off. Barney's got the green in hand, and we are racing from Five Flags Speedway. The Downrange Transport Premier Series is green. Dalton maintains the top spot. The battle for the second position between Diego Sainz and Sam Fontaine. Sainz on the bottom in the 44. The 77 of Fontaine to the outside. The 1 of Matt Telder trying to close into this battle as well. It's right on board with Matt. Guys are already turning some serious RPM on corner exit. Telder has the preferred lane, though. He's going to likely slide into P3 here in a moment if he can keep it on the bottom and chase the 44 through. Telder loses the bottom, slides up the track a little bit. Fontaine has to adjust. Those two side by side starting to lose touch slightly from the 44 and the 2. Dalton still your race leader, but not by a wide margin. Just 3.5 tenths of a second back to the 44, Diego Sainz. Sainz was fast in practice as well as Dalton. Matt Telner now completes the pass on Fontaine. He's up into that third position. Fontaine slips back to P4, and Steve Miles up 3 spots already into 5th. Eight laps in of 200 already. Things pretty clean thus far. Miles hanging tough in that 5th position, just a spot ahead of Brian Sutphin in the 6th spot. Slow car, I think it might be Brandon Alphin. Nope, not the case. He's tucked in. Not sure who that may have been. Somebody on the outside, a little bit off pace, must have gotten it straightened out. Ben Pierce back in P18 in behind Ingram. Cedric, that is. Dalton still your race leader, starting to stretch things out a bit over the 44 of Sainz. It's up to 6 tenths of a second back to P2. Battle for position here, Cedric Ingram with Jason Clark. They continue to battle for position. Clark up top of the number 20, Ingram on the bottom of the 19. Looks like Ingram's going to complete the pass. Move himself up into that 16th spot. For Ben Pierce trying to take advantage as well. He's going to slide on by. Not sure who it is. We got another slow car in the bottom. It might be Luke Simonson. Indeed it is. Simonson off the pace. New colors on that number 49 machine here tonight. Not sure exactly what happened here with Simonson, but he was definitely off the pace for a brief moment. Simonson back up to speed, it appears. Maybe not fully. Oh, there it is, 17.7, so I think that's going to get him well above any type of minimum speed. Not that this league necessarily has that. But if there were, I'd say he'd be in good shape at this point. Just ahead of Simonson, Jacob Drift, and then the 59 of Blaine Sparling. And we got a caution on the speedway. Luke Simonson, we were just talking about him having an issue on track. I don't know if it came out from an actual issue or if he was just too slow in the racing groove. Let's get a look, see if there's any information here. Maybe he got sideways, spun out. Full speed here as he gets back to the main straightaway. Oh, yeah. It's down into turn 1 and 2 here. Slides up the racetrack. Doesn't appear to be any contact. Puts us under our first caution of the night. 22 laps in. race leader Jason Dalton.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Five Flags Speedway, the pace car pulls down pit lane. We are back racing after our first caution. Jason Dalton on the jump. Matt Telder not missing a beat, though. He's right there, just a few feet off the back bumper of the two, out of turn number 2.
Yellow's out.
Oh, we got a spinner off at turn number 2. Looks like Luke Knupp, Josh Gagnon, and others involved. Gary Wright, possibly. Trouble on the restart, as we've said it so many times. Cautions breed cautions. Had a really good stretch there the first 22 laps or so without incident. But on the restart there out of turn number 2, we had a problem. Let's take a look at it, see what we can see here. On the restart out of turn number 2, this is from Gary Wright's perspective. He gets into this one late. Ooh, looks like Josh Gagnon gets underneath the 15. Let's take a look at that. Drivers go around. Looks like Knupp does come down just a bit. Gagnon just far enough there to the inside. And there you have it. Caution flag number 2 on the night here from Five Flags Speedway. Checking on the stream chat here, we got Corey D. We already talked about the conversation about snowball and beach ball. Drift King saying, hey, what's going on, Drift King? I think that's Jacob Drift. I'm not 100% there, but could be. Richard Midkiff not available tonight, on vacation, pulling for KJD2 team tonight. Richard, I'm going to be on vacation the next, let's see, not even 12 hours. I'll be hitting the road for Watkins Glen for the IMSA 6 hour. Stepping away from the microphone for a bit, getting behind the camera for a little as well. So getting behind a campfire and camp chair and a cold beverage. Jason Dalton, still your race leader. He's been there since the beginning. 31 laps led to this point. Started on pole. take long. We're on the one to go here. Pace car is going to pull off. We'll be back racing in just a moment.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. We're underway. Second caution. It's over. We're back green. No, folks, I didn't forget about you, and I wasn't muted. Just enjoying the sights and sounds of the static cameras provided by Whiplash SimCams. Really appreciate Andrew over at Whiplash SimCams providing these cameras for us. Again, the official custom camera provider of HBR TV. Dalton's still out in front, starting to put a little bit of distance. A car length, maybe two on the one of Matt Telder, but Matt seems strong, but Fontaine's starting to close back in. He's going to have his hands full with the 77 here if he's not careful. On board with Telder, Fontaine slides up the racetrack, gets a little more distance between himself and the 77.
Caution.
And we have a yellow. Andrew Miller possibly involved
All on you,
in
man.
this
All
one.
on
Yes,
you.
indeed,
You
the
make the call
74
here.
machine is around. Third caution of the night, lap 40, just about quarter distance. Take a look at it, see what happened here at the 74. Might be unassisted. Little too much on the brakes, and a little tank slap sends him up the racetrack into the fence. It's a hard right side impact for Miller. With that, we're going to step out once again. We'll be back after this. And it looks like Millet might have won this. He did by 2/100ths of a second over Brandon. That S4 guy off turn 4 for the final time sees the checkered flag. It waves. It belongs to the 315. Checkered flag. Contact, and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short...
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Five Flag Speedway, half a lap away from going back to the green flag as we wrap up our third caution of the night. Andrew Miller having his issues all by his lonesome. Pace car about to pull off as we were on the one to go. Dalton in command. He's going to restart it for us. Back in the throttle. We're racing. Teller looking to the outside on Jason Dalton. Might have a run out of turn number 4. At the stripe, Teller is going to lead a lap. He's going to take that one away from Dalton. He might have a better run here to the outside. Out of turn number 2, still battling for the lead. Oh, we got a spinner.
Caution somewhere, caution. Throughout the course of that last run, did you see any rubber laying
Josh
down
Gagnon,
at all?
Luke Knupp involved in this. The 48 of Chris Dean in it as well. We said it before, cautions breed cautions. We're just about 25% race distance. Working our fourth caution of the night. At that rate, we're looking at 16. Hopefully we don't get there. Christine with some significant damage on that KJD2 Camaro. Rolls into pit lane. Looking like a modified right now. I don't think they run faster pairs here, so he's got some work to do. Let's see what happened here. At least with Christine. Trouble ahead. Oh, there was a parked Sean Petchin. Dean just, wow, apparates through Sean Petchin's machine. Let's see what happened specifically here with Sean. This is down turn, middle of turns 3 and 4. Oh, just gets a little sideways. Almost has it. Honestly, Petchin does a great job just locking her down, but everybody else does not hit that brake pedal and gets into the 69. I'd be curious how much damage Petchin has from that. The Gary Wright perspective. Those guys are about stopped. Wright just checks up. He did okay. Watch the 49 of Luke Simonson. Did he just kind of slow it down, and that's what his issue was? Did he miss this? Looks like he did. Just about everybody else got through it okay. Christine back out there, but again, looking a lot like a modified at this point. I know they don't handle great like that, but I gotta say, kind of looks kind of neat. I'm a Northeast modified guy myself. It's just how I am. I think these cars look pretty cool. I mean, you can see core support and the rails and the engine's exposed. It's got to push like a dump truck. So Matt Telder is going to be in charge of the restart now with Jason Dalton to the outside. Pace car lights are off, so we're on the one to go. We're going to wrap up caution number 4 real quick. See what kind of restart Telder can get now that he's in charge.
Green flag.
Telder with a big jump. As soon as that green flag call is out, he's off and running. Changes lanes before start finish. Don't know if that's a no-no or not. Some leagues are real strict about it, some are not. Telder, though, out with the race lead. Fontaine up into P2. Ingram is third. Dalton slips from the outside front row back to 4th. Getting hung on the outside there. Not really the best place to be. Dalton experiencing that firsthand here as he's already slipped back to P5. But interestingly enough, Telder was able to take that top spot, get that position on the restart by making the move on the outside. So Dalton might need to adjust here. It is possible. Telder proved it. Still side by side, Telder with Lattiser for the 5th position. 4th position, that is. Diego Sainz wanting by both of these drivers. He'd love to go from 6 to P4. Diego out of Richmond, Texas. Signs are really all over the back bumper of the 23 of Lattiser. Steve Miles coming back into the fray here. He's in the 7th position. He's still up 1 spot from qualifying. Diego slides up, a little bit of contact with the 23. Both get away with it. Side-by-side action. This is for the 5th position. Steve Miles closing in. Same situation. He'd love to get 2 for 1 here. Signs takes the spot. Lattiser gets in behind, almost some contact, has to check up pretty hard. Meanwhile, Diego goes up the racetrack, overdrives 3 and 4. He's going to lose a couple of spots, if not 3 out of this. Signs was in the 4th position. Now he's back to P7, at least for the time being. The 38, Alex Bryson, challenging as well. Oh, we might have a spin. We do. The 00, Chris Evans in the fence. Oh, don't hit the throttle too hard there. Chris Wright almost became part of that mistake as well. Chris Evans out of Canada, driving right through that pace car. Let's see what happened here with the 00. G-Fuel machine goes to the bottom. Oh, the 25 just drives into him. It's kind of a tough call there. I mean, you can call it a racing deal. It is a short track. He was not alongside, and looks like Evans was just kind of running his racing line. The 25 just made contact and got into him. That was Jeremy Freer. Let's watch it again here. On board. Back it up. We'll go full speed. On board with 25 of Jeremy Freer as he gets into the 00 of Evans. Yeah, certainly not malicious by any way, shape, or form. But yeah, he definitely got into him. You see that space there, it's available to you. You want to just drive your car into that lane, but all of a sudden that lane disappears. And you thought you had some braking distance to use to your advantage, and then it just goes away. Varying strategies once again. A lot of drivers hitting pit lane here for the first time. Interestingly enough, it looks like the top 8 drivers, well, the top 7 drivers did not come down to pit. Luke Knupp shows some pit lane time. 12.7 seconds in the box. That might be right sides only. Could just be repairs. We don't know. J.W. Miller, his pit stop, 14.55 seconds. Likely 4 tires and fuel. Brandon Alphin running in 10th. Did not stop. Looks like every driver beyond the 10th place position in pit lane to take at least a set of tires or right sides and some fuel. Majority, though, right sides, left sides, full tank of Sunoco Racing fuel and back out at it. So the official iRacing pace car lights are extinguished, which can mean only one thing. We're going back to green this time by. Pace car is off the banking, down into pit lane, and we're back racing from Five Flags Speedway. Lap 68 up on the board. Fontaine out to a big advantage already. 6.5 tenths back to the 23 of Lattiser. Jeremy Freer back into the third position. Jason Dalton trying to attack from P4. And we got trouble. Somebody's around. Now Telder involved in this one. Gary Wright involved. Got a few up in this one. That's really too bad. Telder was looking real strong there for a bit. Leading some laps. Made a strong pass for the race lead on the outside over Jason Dalton. Let's see what happened. Oh, the 20 just gets a little slick out of turn 4. Slides the rear end around, and Telder just goes right on into him. Check it from another perspective here. Watch the 20 machine to the outside, the Ford Mustang of Jason Clark. Just real slick off of turn 4. Doesn't get a piece of the 6, but just turns down trying to save it. Gets into Matt Telder. Both drivers head to the inside of the racetrack. Clark gets a big piece of the inside wall. Telder gets a chunk of the 20. Cedric Ingram up the racetrack. He makes contact. Gets a piece of Diego Sainz. That's a tough break. Those two are teammates. Diego was strong early on as well. "74 laps in, working our 6th caution of the evening. Sam Fontaine, your race leader. Tristan Lattiser runs P2 in the number 23. Jeremy Freer runs P3. He's up 20 spots. Big time mover thus far. Jason Dalton down 3 spots from pole. He's in 4th. Ben Pierce runs 5th. J.W. Miller in P6. Brandon Elfin, another good run here. He's up to 7th from 26th starting position tonight. Steve Miles in 8th, Cameron Ingram 9th, 10th. Alex Cummings up 14 spots as well. So there you have it. Pace car lights out once again. Approaching lap 75. 126 to go.
Green flag.
Fontaine maintaining the top spot, but the caution's out once again. Alex Bryson involved in this one. Matt Telder getting a piece of it again as well. Not sure if there was some retaliation here or not. I don't think that was really the driver to be concerned with. Might have just been some more bad luck for the one. That thing is definitely bent in not a good way. Telder in trouble here. Alex Bryson the same. Let's take a look at it. Gets a piece of the wall in the front stretch. The 38 slides up and just gets a piece. Yeah, more bad luck. Telder's night going from good to bad to worse. Just like that. So with that, some pit stops underway. Mostly drivers involved in that incident. But we're going to jump out, get another quick break out of the way. We will be back after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back live from Pensacola, the Beach Ball Derby from Five Flags Speedway. Pace car lights off. Getting ready to go back. Green flag racing in just a moment. We work our seventh caution. Pace car pulls off. We ride on board with Sam Fontaine. He's in the gas. Car down low. Brandon Alphin running back in the 9th position, making a move to the outside of the 4, Ben Pierce. Trying to go 3 wide. Alex Cummings way up the racetrack. The 5 of Ingram down low. Alphin not able to make the pass on Pierce, but he's up into the 8th spot, side by side now with the 5 of Cameron Ingram. Out of turn 2 down the back stretch. They still battle it out. Ingram trying to dive it down to the bottom. He's going to get a bit of a pick there from the 4.
Caution.
And we got a caution on the Speedway. Not sure who we've got involved in this
like
one.
Somebody was keying up on your radio just a few minutes ago. 10-4.
Chris Evans, possibly that was the slow car we saw down low after the restart. Let's take a look, see if that was it. Not really sure what put us under the yellow flag to this point. There it is, the 33 machine. Robert Lukens having an issue. Let's take a look here, get a better look at what happened. Oh, off the nose of the 59 at start finish. Slow things down here, get a better look at it even more so. Blaine Sparling, well, right on board. Slow it down with the 59. Sam Barnes checking in the stream chat. And, oh boy. But there you have it, the 33. Robert Lukens going to the bottom. 8 cautions thus far as we approach the halfway point of tonight's race. We did say we were about quarter distance. We had 4 cautions. We're just about half distance. We've got 8 cautions. So at least things are staying consistent. I have to say, even though with these cautions, though, the racing thus far has been excellent. There's a lot going on all over the racetrack. Got to just apologize because I haven't been able to catch all of it. Just can't. It's almost impossible unless you're sitting out in the grandstands and you're able to look around and pick the battles that you want to see. Brian Sutphin, not a fan of the racing setup as far as his comments in the stream chat. He says you can't really try to race. Just try not to crash all by yourself. For some reason that comment disappeared, but we already read it, folks. We can't make it go away. It's documented now. Sorry, Brian. But it's a fair critique. I mean, if you don't like the setup, you don't like the setup. If those are the things that you're trying to deal with, I mean, we want to hear that from the drivers, 100%. From our perspective, at least in the booth, yes, we've had a bunch of cautions, but I don't know, the racing that we have seen has been pretty good. We saw Matt Telder make a pass for the lead on the outside over Jason Dalton. Dalton now still running back, I think, in the third position on the inside there.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. We're back racing once again. Lap 93 going on the board. Battle for the third spot. J.W. Miller to the outside of Jason Dalton. Miller advances just about a nose forward on Dalton into 3 and 4. Still not able to clear. Awfully close to that outside wall off turn number 4. Still side by side off turn number 2. This is the battle for the third spot. Dalton with a nose out in front of him. Miller edges back. Carries the momentum down the straight, if you can even call it a straightaway. And the caution is out once again. Diego Sainz possibly involved in this one. That car is beaten and battered. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Oh, off the nose of the 63 at Cummings. Both drivers make hard contact. That inside pit wall in turn 1. So going back to the conversation about the setup from Brian Sutphin, he brings up a valid point. Setup is terrible, no racing really, just trying not to crash all by yourself. That's kind of the gist of his point. Now, I get the frustration as a driver in the series. I don't race a whole lot anymore, but I've been in some races where you're not running the iRacing fixed setup, which can be different, is the way I'll look at it. If you go out and make your own setups or buy a setup or build a setup, whatever the case may be, in many instances, especially in these short tracks, those setups get so good if you can get a long run in. The problem is, if you don't get the long run, they can be horrendous. And that's kind of what we've seen here. We're still not quite halfway. We've run 98 laps. We're on our 9th caution of the night. So these guys haven't gotten the needed wear into the tires, the heat and tire pressure built up. So the car doesn't really handle all that great. Again, I don't know the background of this particular setup, but that very well could be the case. It's built for the long run. It gets better and better. The racing gets better the longer you go. I mean, that's the only really thing I can deduce from it, just given the fact we've had a bunch of cautions. Cautions breed cautions. We say it so much. These guys not able to build tire pressure, build heat, wear these tires out, and have that setup kind of come in. You know, if we're running an open setup type situation, you may have guys that prefer the long run or prefer the short run, and they can kind of mix and match and modify those setups to their liking. But in this case, every driver's got the same one. It's still a fixed setup, but it's a fixed custom setup. So just my 2 cents, it very well could be the case that you just need that long run for these things to get better. It seemed like that first stint we did, 22 laps, it seemed pretty good until we had this one issue, and since then it's been a little rough. Halfway lap on the board. Should complete it and get the 1 to go. So here we go again. Let's give it a shot. Pace car lights are off. We're working the backstretch, half a lap away from a restart here to finish caution number 9. Luke Strayer saying, turn left. Great advice, sir. Great advice. We're racing. And look at that. Left turn down into turn number 1. Sam Fontaine with the race lead, 2/10 over Lattiser. So work on a turn number 2. Fontaine stretching it out just about a half second through turns 3 and 4, but the gap closing in quickly from the 23. Then you got the 6 of Miller running in 3rd, Miles 4th, Dalton 5th. Cedric Ingram with Ben Pierce to the inside. This is the battle for 10th spot. Jeremy Freer trying to work his way back into that top 3. He runs 12th currently. Freer now up into 11th. Lane Sparling and Matt Telder, these two need to stay away from each other. Telder running 24th, not on the lead lap presently. Brandon Alphin just ahead of the 63 at Cummings. Alphin still running in that 7th spot within the top 10. Dalton and Cameron Ingram side by side for a moment. Ingram with a nose out in front. This is for the 5th position. Alphin now in 7th behind these two. Ingram clears Dalton here and continues to work towards the front. Brandon Alphin, though, he's trying to knock on the door of the 2. Little bit of action in behind him, though. The 15, the 63, Cummings and Nupp side by side for position. This is for the 8th spot. Ben Pierce coming into the fray as well. Little wiggle for the 4, slides up the racetrack. Luckily had some room to save it. With that, we're going to try it. We're going to go HBR TV side by side. Stay with us, folks. You won't miss a moment. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Well, just like that, We go to break and we get a caution. Caution number 10. May have been for Luke Simonson. Luke still sits at the entrance to pit lane, it looks like. Let's see what happened here with the 49 machine. Unassisted. Again, not a major incident. Gets on the brakes, loses it a bit. Puts us under the yellow flag once again. A minor incident for the 49, but nonetheless brings out the yellow. We're going to step out and take an official break. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Live action, green flag in the air, and look who's leading. The 24 of Steve Miles. He didn't miss much, just turns 1 and 2. Through 3 and 4 now. After the restart, Miles with a half-second advantage over Brandon Alvin, who's worked his way up into the second spot. He started 26th. And you know what, here's a crazier fact. He has yet to hit pit lane. We're 122 laps in to this race. He's not changed a set of tires. He's still got 3 sets available to him over the wall. I think this is kind of falling right into the 21's hands here if he can play it carefully. Now he doesn't want to go too crazy here because again that is a teammate out in front of him. But if strategy works his way or if he can make a clean pass, I'm sure he's going to make the effort. But he's now got a 0.7 of a second gap between himself and Miles to make up as we've got just about 76 laps to go. Oh, some contact from Ingram in the 5. Gets into the 25 of Freer. Up the racetrack. We got a crash again. Yellow on the Speedway. Lap 125. 76 to go, and we've got another caution. Our 11th of the evening. Watch it from the 5's perspective. No, it's already way into it. Let's back it up. Don't know if there was a little fender bump in there or bumper action there off of turn number 4 between the 25 of Freer and the 5 of Ingram. Let's try to get a look from the blimp, see if we can get some better pictures of it. Again, exiting turn 4. Looks like Ingram might have already gotten into the back of the 25 there. Tough to say if it's from Ingram or not. Ingram taking a peek to the inside. Freer starting his turn down the racetrack, and just a bump to the back bumper on the left side sends Freer into that inside pit wall just a bit. Sends him up the racetrack. Fontaine's going to try and go around the outside here. So is Ingram. He goes up the racetrack, not seeing the 77, trying to avoid this wreck as well. Makes contact with Fontaine. Then the 4 gets into this as well. A little bit of chaos here out of turns 1 and 2. Steve Miles continues to lead. Alfin remains in the second spot, also stays on the racetrack. Remember, he still has not made a pit stop yet. It's an interesting strategy, a bold strategy, but it's still working. Again, Alfin running in P2. There really hasn't been a ton of green flag laps in one consecutive point for Alfin to not really, decide to gamble. I mean, you sit there, you get caution, you get green flag. You got a handful of laps under race conditions, then the yellow flag comes out. Yeah, you're putting the tires through a bit of a heat cycle, but they're really not even getting that hot. So with all that said, a lot of laps under the yellow flag. Alfin able to save some tire. Got 71 laps to go. And here you have it. Coming to lap 131, 70 laps remain. Pace car lights are off. Teammates on the front row. Steve Miles, Brandon Alfin. Miles on the inside, the number 24, the 21, HBR TV1 on the outside.
Green flag.
Miles in the gas, restart underway. We're back racing once again. Side-by-side action for second. Tristan Lattiser trying to take advantage of his fresh tires versus the old ones on Alfin. Lattiser pitted lap 116. Alfin, well, he bolted those on this morning. Sticks to the outside. Luke Knupp trying to slide down alongside the 21 as well. He slides up the track a bit, maybe some contact with the left side of the 21. At the stripe, some more contact with Luke Knupp, and the caution on the Speedway again. Not sure what has caused it at this point. Tough to say. Don't see anyone on track that is indicated a crash per se. With that, we're going to jump out, get another break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Sgarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Wrapping up our 12th caution of the evening, lap 138. On the 1 to go, back racing the next time by, lap 139. Steve Miles, your race leader. Tristan Ladisauer is going to start the outside. Front row, Luke Knupp, Sam Fontaine,
Green
row
flag.
2. Pace cars down, green in the air. We're back underway. Miles to the stripe. Ladisauer, a decent start. Knupp trying to go 3 wide for a minute. Thought better of it. Top 5 under a blanket on the back straightaway into turn number 3. A little bit of contact. Knupp into the 23. Up the racetrack goes Ladisauer. He's going to lose 3-4 spots here. Knupp to the outside of Steve Miles. Side by side for the race lead. Down the backstretch. 61 laps to go. Dives it down to the bottoms. Miles slides up the racetrack. Avoids contact with the 15. We got someone spinning caution on the Speedway once again in turn 4. Chris Dean slow moving on the front stretch. Alex Bryson possibly involved in it. He's missing the deck lid and the spoiler. Diego Sainz again was strong way early on in this one. Cedric Ingram, the 19, he's got a nose missing. Caution number 13. By prediction, we should get 3 more. Well, let's get a look. Let's see what we can come up with here. Oh, Alphin and Christine make some contact in mid-corner, but that, I don't know if it had anything to do with what we saw here with, I think it was Matt Telder. Yeah, you've got the 38 of Bryson in behind both of these drivers. Matt Telder in the 1, then the 00. Bryson goes up the racetrack. Chris Evans in the 00. He goes to the bottom, just kind of locks it down. Cedric Ingram gets into him. Diego Sainz, he's going to clip the 00 on the way by as well. Not even on the way by. Gets him right in the door. Well, there you have it. Caution number 13. Approaching 3/4 distance. So through that exchange, Luke Knupp actually is going to take the race lead. Had a nose out in front at the time of caution. It's going to put Sam Fontaine now to the outside. Jason Dalton, row number 2 to the inside. Outside row number 2, it's the 23 of Tristan Ladisauer. Or Seward. Ladisauer. I think I'd get it right by now. Well, there you see it. Pace car lights are out. Back to the green flag the next time by. Be 55 laps to go when we go back green. Let's ride on board with Jason Dalton here as we get ready for this restart. Oh, wheel spin for the 15. Knupp slides up the racetrack.
Caution.
And the caution is out again. Ben Pierce involved in this one with some others. Luke Simonson, Gary Wright. The incident was already in progress when Simonson came into it. Let's look at it here, the 4. 61 slides up the track, gets a piece of the left rear of the 4 machine. They both go into the fence. Luke Simonson comes in late. Clips Gary Wright. So caution number 14. Everybody's scratching and clawing for every position they can possibly scrap up. Through that exchange, though, now Fontaine has now retaken the top spot. Again, not a great restart for Luke Knupp, though he did put tires on about lap 116. Brandon Elfin made his pit stop finally lap 134, but he's finding himself back in the 11th spot, still up 15 positions from where he started tonight. Alphin running the number 21 Holler Boys Racing TV entry. Duke's Pools on board. Dale's Pools, that is. Where I got Duke from. At the stripe, we now have 50 laps to go. It'll be 49 to go when we get the green flag. Let's get it shaped up here, boys. Let's try to get this thing a nice long run to the finish. Pace car is off. We're racing. Fontaine gets the jump on Lattiser and Knupp. The battle for the second spot is on. Knupp to the outside in the 15. Lattiser the 23 on the bottom. Side by side through turn 4. They make it through. Restart lap in the books. No issues. Alphin battling for position. He's got Josh Gagnon to the outside. This would be for the 8th position. Alphin's got it. Cedric Ingram now trying to take it from Gagnon. Real loose is the 63 of Cummings. He straightens it out. And Cameron Ingram in the 5 going all the way down to the apron, searching for some grip. And Alex Bryson in trouble.
What can we do to try to help it if we do get another restart?
15th caution of the night. Frankly, I think the 38 should be parked just for the fact he doesn't have a rear spoiler. I don't know that that's even allowed. Nonetheless, he's still out there, but we're under caution for the 15th time. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
car is off. Finally getting back to the green flag here. We're underway. Fontaine gets out to the early lead. Luke Knupp and Tristan Lattiser picking up where they left off, battling for that second spot. Jason Dalton, J.W. Miller doing a bit of the same. Miller to the outside. Dalton in the number 2 on the bottom. Alex Cummings watching it all unfold. Down the back into turn number 3, just like that. Oh, Dalton loose off a 4, gets a piece of the inside wall. Keeps it straight down the racetrack, loses some track position. Brandon Alphin trying to take advantage on the outside. Alphin now up into the 6th position, but not quite clear of the 2. Dalton's got to regroup quickly here. Alphin still working the outside. Nope, loses the rear end again. Can't get the power down, but it doesn't hurt him too bad. Alphin's still on the outside. Oh, some contact off turn 2. Brandon Alphin on the outside, the number 21. Jason Dalton in the 2 down low. These two have been battling for this position, the 6th spot for a few laps. Dalton with a nose out in front. Steve Miles coming into the fray. He's to the inside now of Alphin. He wants to take advantage. Out front, unchanged. Fontaine with a 1 second lead over the 15 of Luke Knupp. Lap 168 of 200. Meanwhile, behind this battle, Steve Miles and Cameron Ingram continuing to fight it out. This is the battle for position number 8. Miles gets on by Ingram here, or at least maintains that position ahead of the 5. In the 8th spot. 30 laps to go. 5 Flag Speedway. Fontaine still your race leader. Just under a full second ahead of the 15 of Luke Knupp.
You will have a caution, caution, caution. Guys,
and Brandon Alphin in trouble.
Clean this mess up here. Coming into the box is the part that I'm mainly concerned about.
Caution number 16, lap 172. Alphin was battling with Dalton there for a bit. Gets real tucked in here to the back bumper of the 2 and just puts the power down a little too hard. Comes around on him, gets a piece of the inside wall. There you have it, caution on the Speedway once again.
just don't know where that baby of mine. Well, I just don't know. Have mercy, brother.
Back at Five Flag Speedway, 24, going to be 23 laps to go. 11 and a half miles to make it home to the checkered flag. Sam Fontaine looking to cash in and take a race win off of turn number 4. Pace cars down, green in the air, Nupp, a little wiggle, spins the tires, gets into the 23. Everybody gets away clean here, but again, 23 laps to go. Fontaine, your race leader. Second, Tristan Lattiser and Luke Nupp battling for that second spot down into turn number 3. Lattiser and Nupp still side by side for the second spot. Alex Cummings and the 6 of J.W. Miller shaping up into a battle as well. Jason Dalton there in the mix. On top of it, Cameron Ingram, Stephen Miles, all fast drivers in behind this group. All could pounce, all could take advantage, and a big wiggle from the 23. Don't know if there was contact with Cummings. Certainly contact with Luke Nupp. There were 3 wide into turn 3. They straighten it out. Nupp goes down into the corner, slides it up the racetrack. Cummings is going to take advantage to the inside. Alex Cummings, the number 63, currently in the 3rd spot. Big wiggle from Luke Nupp out of turn 4, down into turn 1 now. Again, it happened so fast, I don't think you're really ever off the steering wheel at any point. Cummings slides up the racetrack a bit, maybe a little bit of contact with the 23 of Lattiser. Off turn 4 at the stripe. Nupp still maintains the second spot while Fontaine is just driving away. 2 seconds the advantage for the race leader. Dalton alongside Lattiser. This now for the 4th position. J.W. Miller in the mix. Nowhere to go. Alphin for a moment, 3 wide. He's got Freer in the middle and Jacob Drift up top. How did they make that stick? If we're going to get another caution, I think it's going to happen in this group right here. Josh Gagnon coming into the fold. Alphin taking a look to the inside on Freer, now down into turn 1. Alphin up into the top 10 now, 14 laps to go. Next on the hit list for the 21, it's Robert Lukens in the 33. That car not looking healthy, the whole front end missing, except for the hood on that machine. Alphin charging through here, 13 to go. Now he's up into the 9th spot. Continuing to charge forward. Miles and J.W. Miller fighting for position here. Cameron Ingram and Jason Dalton fighting as well. But out front, Sam Fontaine, clear skies, nobody out front, nobody out the back. Just got to turn those laps, coming to 11 laps to go. Tell you, Alex Cummings kind of shot out of a cannon here, came through up into this top 5 here late, started in the 24th position, big time move towards the front here, running in P3 and knocking on the door hard of the 15 of Luke Nupp with 10 laps to go. Little bit of a bump. Don't know if that's the first one or the second one, but we all know the third one ends in a spin. 9 laps to go. Fontaine now 3 seconds ahead of these two. This is the battle on the racetrack. They continue to fight for this second spot. Knupp maintains it. Cummings, there's the second bump. There's some more contact, loosens him up the racetrack. Cummings gets alongside and clears the 15 and Knupp. Does it come back? Yes, it does. Knupp gets to the inside, gives a little bit of a push to the 63, loosens up Cummings, but still not quite enough. Cummings now to the outside. Knupp goes to the bottom, gets the left sides just below the yellow line onto the apron. Little bit of grip to get it to turn. More contact out of turn number 4. This is the battle for the second spot. Now the 23, Lattiser is going to come into the frame here. These two finally finish this one off. Cummings clears the 15 of Luke Knupp, maintains that second spot cleanly with 6 laps to go. Cameron Ingram, Brandon Alphin now battling this for the 5th position. Ingram's tires from lap 135, Alphin more recent, lap 173. Now 4 laps to go for Fontaine, 3.5 seconds back to Cummings. I tell you, not that I want to see more cautions, as we've had our fair share of them, but man, would that be interesting if we could get one here. Cummings and Fontaine battling it out on the restart. Both drivers with same aged tires. Alphin, though, jumping into that 5th position, now 4th position, clears the 5 of Cameron Ingram. Cummings setting sail, 3.75 seconds still behind the leader, Fontaine. Knupp in 3rd, Alphin 4th, Cameron Ingram in 5th. And the caution comes out. Jacob Drift with 3 laps to go in trouble.
Okay.
17th caution of the night. We beat it, the estimate, by 1 so far. So this looks like this is going to put us into a NASCAR overtime situation. We have 2 opportunities to get that done here, so we'll give it a shot. Going to go to overtime, which means a green, white, then checkered flag finish. We get up to 2 attempts, so this is one of them. If the caution comes out before the leader takes the white flag, we can try it one more time after that. Got Brewer plays in the stream chat. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. 100%. We were saying it just a moment ago. If we got a caution, it's certainly going to change things. Fun to watch Cummings and Fontaine battle this one out. Both drivers equal footing as far as tires are concerned. Luke Knupp, same thing. But Brandon Alphin in the 4th spot, he's going to restart in that 2nd row. His tires, he pitted in lap 173. Much newer. Now, we talked earlier on in this race about the setup and how early on it can be a handful. We saw as this race had long runs in a couple of occasions, things got better. Now, you could say that's because, oh, well, the drivers got all spread out and they're less likely to make contact and cause wrecks. Okay, that's true. That's a possibility, but it also could be that the setup's starting to come in on the longer run, which we think could be the possibility. We've seen that happen before. So you got to wonder, these drivers in the top 3 who pit at lap 116, are they at the advantage side of the tires, just given the setup, versus Brandon Alphin, whose stop was at lap 173? His tires being newer, does he have his hands full more than the rest of these guys, given that he has fresher tires? I know it's counterintuitive to what we would normally expect. The fresh tires in these particular race cars, you would think, is going to be the advantage, but with the setup, maybe it's not the case. We're going to find out. I know that much. This race will end at some point, I promise you. But hell, I know we've had 17 cautions here tonight and only less than 100 miles. But I don't know. It's been good action. When we've had racing going on the racetrack under green flag conditions, it's been awesome to watch. It really has been. So I guess I'll take it. You never want to see 17 cautions in any length of race, but they've made up for it when they're under green. So they're lined up 2 by 2. Going to try this again here. We are officially in overtime here. Lap 204 will get the restart. Green flag will come out. The next flag will be the white, hopefully. And then the checkered.
Green.
Green's in the air. Fontaine in the gas. Gets a great jump over Cummings. Battle is for the second spot. Cummings to the outside of Luke Nutt. Brandon Alphin trying to get in there as well. He's just ahead of the 5 of Cameron Ingram. Shuts the door on the 5 into turn number 3. White flag in the air. Final lap for Sam Fontaine. Battle still going on for the second spot. Nupp and Cummings as they work down the backstretch into 3. Side by side, they make contact up the racetrack. It's going to open the door for the 21 of Alphin, but the checkered flag waves for the 77 of Fontaine. He's going to take the win. Big time wreck here into turn 1 post race. The fireworks go off. Chaos here at Five Flags. Guys wrecking, fireworks going off in turn 2. Unbelievable. Celebrating on the front stretch, Sam Fontaine, your race winner. Fontaine doing the old Polish victory lap. 1 lap counter race with the driver's window facing the crowd. Unofficially, it looks like Fontaine, Alphin, Ingram, Nupp, and Cummings will be your top 5. That's going to wrap it up here. We're going to step aside here, get our top 3 finishers in the booth after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short... Back at Five Flags Speedway, the Beach Ball Derby in the books for the Downrange Transport Premier Series. Sam Fontaine, your race winner. We're going to pull the driver, that number 77, up into the broadcast booth. Sam, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a good copy?
Yes, sir.
Sam, congratulations, man. You had pace all night long. Couldn't quite put the car on the pole position, but outside front row. Second, close enough, but you got it up to P1 there when it mattered. Talk about your race. I know we had a bunch of cautions, but you certainly had to earn it out there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, the race is a pretty long race, 200 laps. We knew that we had to be conservative on the way we drive people around. Some guys were super aggressive early in the race. It paid off for the first half. They did a different strategy and get caught in some mess. So, I mean, it was just all about patience, timing everything at the right moment, and being patient when we had to come back from the mid-pack on the second half of the race. After that, like, trying to have a clean race, being race clean is not always the case, and some guys maybe have to work on that, but we did a pretty good job to bring the car home tonight, so pretty happy with that.
We did hear some guys with a little bit of chatter about the race setup itself as far as the car is concerned. Was this a custom setup that was brought to the league tonight?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the setup was loose, but I mean, if you build it for a 200 lap race and you have to run like 50 laps, 40 laps, like the first half of the race we had like 2 long runs, and you need to have a car that will last. Five Flag is really rough on tires. You could adjust the brake bias, which would help a little bit the front end to stay on the track. And other than that, I mean, just being patient on it. You cannot send it like on a half mile. It's a short track. You have to be smooth and smooth with the throttle too. And it's all about being patient on a track like this with that kind of car, of course, and the setup. So yeah, people had to maybe be more careful, but the setup was great.
We kind of thought that was the case, is that the setup was difficult on the early stages of the run. Tire pressures are low, tire temperatures are low, tire wear is low. We kind of expected it to be built to kind of build, to kind of come in throughout the course of the run. It seemed that the longer you guys got into the run, the better everybody seemed to be in it. Based on your comments, it seems that was the case, so that makes sense. Again, Sam, congratulations on the race win here. I know next week we roll into the Daytona road course. I know we have seen you have some success on road courses. How do you feel about your odds next week?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to practice because it's been a while that I drove the Xfinity on road, but I always have fun to race road and to push the other guys to get better on that kind of track. And hopefully we're gonna have a fun racing action up front. I know we have like a lot of really good road course drivers, Canop, JW. We have other guys who can race super well, so I'm sure it's gonna be fun. And Daytona is pretty racy, so I bet we're gonna have fun.
Certainly looking forward to it, Sam. Congratulations once again on the win here tonight on the short track. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
I want to shout out to all my teammates tonight. They did a great job for most of the race. Got into someone else's mess at the end, unfortunately, but those guys are doing super great. The season is going well for them, and hopefully I can turn mine around with this win. And of course, like all the admins put the session together, put the whole season, and you for the broadcast, doing a great job.
Well, thanks for the kind words, Sam. Certainly good luck next week on the road course. Thanks for chatting.
Thank you.
With Sam Fontaine, your race winner here at Five Flags. Next, we're going to talk about a hard charger, the 21 of Brandon Alphin. We'll pull him up into the booth. Picks up a second place finish in the last lap of the race. Looked like he was going to take a fourth place. Brandon, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got us?
Yep, I got you.
Brandon, congratulations. Another runner-up finish. Again, I know you want that checkered flag, but man, it was a thrilling finish. Last lap, the second and third place drivers, they come to blows. You pick up the scraps, take that second spot, man. How did it look out the front windshield of that HBR TV Chevrolet?
Yeah, you kind of thought last lap, last corner, something might have happened. I tried to show Luke that I was going to maybe try to dive it inside to get him looking in his rear view a little bit right there, and then that kind of happened, and they ran up. I was just glad. I was looking at the results. I saw they ended up 4th and 5th, so I'm glad it didn't take a lot of people out with them. So just kind of snuck by them, really. I guess right place, right time. I was able to come home P2.
Well, you take it however you can get it. Some days you want to be more lucky than good, sometimes a combination of both. Next week out at Daytona Road Course, are you looking for luck, or are you that good?
More so luck on it. I mean, I don't road courses. It kind of depends on them. Daytona, I'd say, is probably my worst one. I'm more Sonoma, Watkins Glen, Road America, that kind of thing. I know that's one thing GLSR does. We go to a variety of road tracks to kind of keep the schedule somewhat fresh, and so I'll definitely have to put some laps in just to kind of get a feel for it, and then just kind of see what we can do. Just kind of similar to this week. I mean, it was, anytime you come to short tracks, and you're always got your guys that are usually up front, but just try to not tear up the car and just be able to cross the finish line. So that's what we did tonight, and was able to come away with a second. So I'll definitely take that.
Well, talking about road courses, if my memory serves me, I think we talked to you in our top 3 out of the Indy road course last season in the truck. I'm not sure if it was a win or a P2, but either way, you had a solid run out there.
Yeah, Indy's a fun. That's a road course too that I like. It's I've always. There's some people that are just, they don't really like road courses, and I'm not one. If you look at my I rating on road, I think I'm like 300 or 400. I don't do a ton of officials because I like driving the NASCAR cars, and everybody thinks I'm kind of crazy as opposed to like the IMSA actual road cars and that kind of stuff. But I always for whatever reason I pick it up pretty quick. I do about 10 laps or so, and then just kind of figure out the braking points and then how far you can kind of push the car. It'll be a little bit different in the Xfinity car as opposed to the truck too. It seems like the Xfinity cars and the next gen cars kind of have a harder time as far as getting stopped. The braking's a little bit different, or at least to me. So we'll just kind of see what we got, and just kind of hopefully kind of keep this momentum rolling. Like I said, we're having a good year too, all our teammates and everything. So just kind of keep pushing forward.
All right, Brandon. Well, once again, nice job here with the P2 finish. Way to stick with it. Who do you want to shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to the teammates. Like I said, obviously we're having a great season. I know that's a big one for me. This is, I think, my 5th year in GLSR, 4th or 5th season, and we have it. I've won a regular season, or not a regular season. I won a individual championship, and I'd like to win the team. I know we've got close a couple times, so everybody's doing a great job as far as in our team. And then also give a shout out to you guys at HBR TV. Again, I appreciate y'all jumping on the hood of the car and being able to sponsor that. So I always look forward to Wednesdays, and hopefully being able to get a lot of TV time with you guys and running up front. So definitely give a shout out to you all, and then also again to you for doing the broadcast. It's always enjoyable to go back and watch it. I know I got family members too that sit at home, and they look forward to it on Wednesday nights. So definitely appreciate everything that you do for us. So it's definitely appreciated.
Well, Brandon, thanks for the kind words, man. Again, congratulations on P2. Wish you the best of luck next week at the Daytona Road Course.
All right, appreciate it, Steve.
It's Brandon Elfin, your second place finisher here from Five Flags. Now we're going to pull Cameron Ingram, our third place finisher, into the booth. Cameron, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You with me?
Yes, sir.
Cameron, congratulations on a top 3 finish here. It kind of came together in the last couple of corners with Luke Nupp and Alex Cummings coming together. You picked up the scraps just like Brandon Elfin in the P2 spot. You get the 3rd place. Tell us about your race and what it looked like out the front windshield of that number 5 when those two came together on the final couple corners.
I somewhat expected it. I knew that Luke Nupp, I think the caution before that, or the restart before that, him and like the 23 were getting together, so I figured that it was bound to happen, especially when the 21 was kind of showing his move to the inside. But I can't say enough about this race team. I think we're putting together these last couple of weeks, and I'm just excited to finish the top 3.
Well, Cameron, it was a solid run. What kind of tire strategy did you employ here tonight? I know some guys gambled. I know Brandon Elfin, he went almost 125 plus laps before he ever came to pit road. Some guys were in much sooner. What was your strategy coming in? Did you stick to it? Did it work? Did you have to change things up?
You know, I didn't really know what I was gonna expect. I knew we weren't gonna get like long green flag runs, so I didn't like really trust in my long run speed. I figured first maybe like 10 laps or so I would be like within contention, but a couple of laps into it, I felt like my tires were kind of giving in and it was losing a little bit of time. So I guess I was really just looking for every other like 50 laps to come in, and I think overall it worked out to my favor.
Well, either way, a job well done. Again, next week we switch things up, go from the short track to the big track at Daytona, but it's the big road course at Daytona, and it's not even the NASCAR layout. It's going to be the IMSA style road course. How do you feel about your chances out there next week?
I love the Daytona road course. That is like one of my favorite road courses. I love to race GT3s on there, so I think I'll have definitely a good chance, and I'm hoping to finish maybe top 5 there.
Well, we certainly look forward to it, Cameron. Before we let you go, who do you want to shout out to?
I want to shout out to the whole Gunslingers team. I know my boy Everett Hobney couldn't make it tonight, so big shout out to him. Shout out to Diego, Sid. Shout out to everybody in the stream, and thanks for supporting everybody.
All right, Cameron. Well, thanks for talking to us. Wish you the best of luck next week.
Woo!
Cameron Ingram, your third place finisher. Man, if he gets a win, I can't wait to see his reaction. Definitely a happy camper in the number 5 machine here, finishing P3 tonight. Let's take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to our top 3 finishers already. Sam Fontaine, Brandon Elfin, Cameron Ingram. Then it was Luke Knupp, Alex Cummings. Had a surefire second and third coming out of turn 4. Didn't work out. They got up in the fence. Still managed to bring it home 4th and 5th, respectively. Jason Dalton, strong early on. Could not make his way back to that top position. Robert Lukens was 7th. Steve Miles was 8th. Josh Gagnon, P9. Blaine Sparling was 10th. 11th went to J.W. Miller. Diego Sainz had a strong run early. Really battled back. Good job finishing P12. Tristan Lattiser was 13th. Ben Pierce, 14th. 15th was Asher Gwinsey. Gary Wright, 16th. Cedric Ingram, 17th. Jacob Drift was the 18th finisher. 19th was Jeremy Freer. 20th, Chris Evans. 21st, Andrew Miller. Alex Bryson was 22nd. Luke Simonson, 23rd. Christine, 24th. Matt Telder was 25th. Sean Petchin, 26th. Jason Clark, 27th. Brian Sutphin, 28th. Justin Bondurant out of this one early, 173 laps down in 29th position. It's going to wrap it up for us here at Five Flag Speedway. Thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. If you haven't already checked out the website, hbrtv1.com, please do so. We've got past race photos, screenshots. We've got a live channel so you guys can find the broadcast there if need be. We'll have some photographs, some real racing here pretty soon. Headed up to Watkins Glen tomorrow morning for the balance of the weekend for the Salem 6 hours of the Glen. So some photos will go up there if you're so interested in that. Again, also all of the race broadcasts should be popped up there in the live tab, provided I remember to put them up there. Sometimes I forget, but for the most part, you should be able to do that. Also, please give us a hand here. Hit the like button on the stream. That really does make the biggest of differences for all involved, and it's free to do so. Just smash that button if you enjoyed the broadcast. Thank you for tuning in, for starters, but also you guys in the stream chat. Please continue to say hi. Make your comments, even if you're worried about it. We had somebody complaining about the setup tonight. I want you guys to jump in, even if you're a driver. It's okay. We want to know whether you like it, whether you hate it. I want to know. It gives us something to talk about, gives us some analysis to work through. It's a plus. So we appreciate it top to bottom. Thank you guys all for watching. Next week will be a tape delay. It'll be our final tape delay of the season, at least for a conflict as far as the schedule is concerned. Cannot 100% guarantee that I'm going to be around to make all of these based on work commitments, but we're certainly going to try. And either way, you'll get to watch the broadcast after the fact if we have to go to a tape delay. So tune in for us, hbrtv1.com. Check us out there. Also, youtube.com/@HBRTV1. Find us there. Help us out, guys. Share that link. Hit the like button. Notifications, all the good stuff. I don't know. I'm losing it, guys. I'm on vacation. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at the next one.